Welcome to the Roll Call Podcast. I'm Joe Aguirre, along with Lucas Balduck and Dylan Oxton. And we asked this question last week. Was it time to hit the panic button? And we all agreed the answer was no. And then the Yankees lost the next day, and ESPN had a headline that was like, is it time to hit the panic button? No. Still not one day later. Is it still necessary to hit the panic button? We can all agree that this Yankee team stinks right now. It's not playing to its potential, but we all know what their potential is, and it's high. And already tonight, in a game that's happening right this minute, the Yankees were down 3-0 after the first inning. Domingo Germán looked like he wasn't going to last very long, has pitched through 6 innings. The Yankees have crawled their way back into that game. It is now 3-3 in the top of the 7th. The Yankees are just not hitting the ball, Lucas. They're not really. I mean, 3 runs is not great. They're playing the Cleveland Indians, for crying out loud. Got to do better than this. Where's the home runs? What is going on with the Yankees?
Right. And like we were saying before the show, Joe, the bats are just cold. You were telling me and Dylan before we got going here that it's not like these guys forgot how to hit. They know how to hit. They're professional baseball players. They're great professional baseball players, a lot of these guys. And they do know how to hit. They are just in a cold spell. I saw a quote today as I was scrolling through my Instagram feed. And it said, I'm going to read it right now. It said, there are 162 games in a baseball season. Giving up on a team 17 games into a season says more about your character than your knowledge of baseball. And that could not be any more true. Obviously, us Yankees fans, there's a lot of us, a lot of them, I'd say don't know that much about baseball considering the things I'm hearing. And especially considering the crap that ESPN is feeding them about hitting the panic button. I turned on my car radio the other day, and the first thing I heard was, Yankees fans, it's time to hit the panic button. We'll talk about it Monday. And, yeah, it is more like freezing, but you got to think guys like Gleyber Torres, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, even guys like Aaron Hicks and obviously DJ LeMahieu can come around and start hitting the ball with ease like they know how to.
There's just too much talent on this team.
Yes.
For it to be this crappy all the time. It's not like we've hit a cold spell. We're also like, we're the biggest team in the MLB. We have the most fans. We get the most publicity. We're the New York freaking Yankees. So the microscope is always going to be on us. And we're off to an historically bad start. And everyone's freaking out. But like I said last episode, and like Aaron Rodgers said, we just all need to relax. Everything will be fine. Like, it's April. If this is like middle of May and we're still playing this kind of ball every day, then I'm going to slam the panic button. Moves will have to be made. Maybe some sacrificial lambs will have to be sacrificed. But that's not going to happen because this team will turn it around. I'm not worried.
I mean, that said, this has been difficult to watch. And the reason why it's so difficult to watch is because we know that this is a really good baseball team. And so, of course, it's super frustrating. But I do have an issue. Again, you got a situation where no Stanton in the lineup, but he finally did it. He batted Judge and Stanton back to back, and then immediately sat him the next game. And Mike Ford is hitting in the 4-hole today. Concerned, yes, Riley. That's 100. I mean, you got to be concerned because, I mean, look at the batting averages. They're putrid. They're really, really putrid. I mean, This is look, if this was the Miami Marlins or the Pittsburgh Pirates and they were off to this kind of start and nobody's hitting over 279, that's a regular in your lineup. That's DJ LeMahieu. Aaron Judge is at 259. Gleyber Torres has no RBIs this year, as neither does Clint Frazier, who's hitting $167, Hicks $164. Again, these guys didn't forget how to hit and how to play baseball. So I said last week, the reason I'm not taking the Red Sox seriously is because I don't think that team has enough talent to last over 162 games.
The pitching's not going to hold up in Boston. I can tell you that right now.
Yes, mostly that. I think that's the same thing. I think with Toronto, who's off to a pretty decent start, not much better than the Yankees, but the Yankees have just taken a 5-3 lead.
I was just gonna say, 2 RBI single for Rougned Odor.
No,
No,
I love how we said we were like, hopefully he never sees the field, and now I'm kind of like I'm kind of like rooting in Odor now. I don't know. He's coming around on me.
yeah.
If he can
Listen,
keep producing like that.
I was
He
just
hit
going to
a
say,
bomb the other day.
yeah,
That home run he hit, boy, that he hit that ball.
I think as long as somebody produces, they should be playing. I mean, if Mike Ford gets hot, get him in the lineup. He's not, and he's only hitting 100. But again, I mean, the Yankees got to get it figured out. They've got to get some consistency in the lineup, which I think right now is another issue. So when we say don't hit the panic button, it seems like Aaron Boone is hitting the panic button. And he's kind of, but again, he makes moves sometimes to make moves. Brett Gardner hitting leadoff today. What has Brett Gardner done this season that makes you think he might be some catalyst for hits tonight? I mean, come on.
It's like what you always say, Joe. Boone's out managing himself. He tries to do these smart analytical moves and bat Brett Gardner first and lead off. When in reality, Brett Gardner would borderline not be in any lineup in the MLB.
Sorry to interrupt you, Lucas.
No, go ahead.
I think Brett, he should be hitting ninth, but I can kind of see how Boone puts him first because Brett Gardner does have an ability to really grind out at bats. And that's one thing I've also noticed with this team in this little dry spell we've had. Just all these at bats are just weak, no effort. We're not grinding the starter down. We're not getting to the bullpen by like the 4th or 5th inning. Like, I don't know. Have you guys?
Well, look. That? I mean, look at somebody like Aaron Hicks. Aaron Hicks has always been one of those guys who can, work long at bats and gets on base a lot, which is why I've never had an issue with him being the Yankees' number 3 hitter. But when you're off to a terrible start, if you're willing to move Gary Sanchez out of the starting lineup or down to the 9 hole or wherever you want to put him, are you going to do that with everybody else? Are you going to do that when other people aren't hitting? Why do only some people get mistreated and most of the rest of them don't? How do these guys get right?
I mean, I think Boone needs to start making a visible, like the other day when Aaron Hicks made that boneheaded play and just lazy play out in center field, which ended up costing us the game. I thought Boone should have taken him out at that moment and sat him down. But he didn't. But I'm starting to think that, like, he's got to start doing that with some guys. With maybe not Gleyber yesterday, because I think Gleyber was just – and Gleyber today did come through and talk about it. He said he did make a mistake not running out of the box, and that Boone and him talked about it. But I think Boone has got to start making some, like, bench some guys, just maybe for a game, just to send a message.
You guys know,
again, if you'll do it to Gary Sanchez, why can't you do it to other people?
right? I mean, do you guys know how? Obviously, we talk about Aaron Boone, and how he's kind of passive with the whole injury situation. He just kind of says, "Oh, it's fine, and he's out for 3 months." Do you think? This is a question for you guys. Do you think he does that with the batters when they're in these slumps? Do you think he just goes to them and he's like, it's fine, buddy. You'll get out of it. It's fine. You don't need to change anything. You're fine."
I mean, he doesn't strike me as a Billy Martin tough guy type manager that will tell you that you're a bum and you suck, or punch you in your face. Yanks, by the way, 3 for 8 with runners in scoring position tonight. Brett Gardner 0 for 2, Hicks 0 for 1, Ford 0 for 1, Odor 1 for 1, LeMahieu 1 for 1, and Torres 1 for 2. Glaber, by the way, knocked in his second run of the season. So 2 RBIs. Odor has as many RBI tonight as Glaber does all season. That's a problem. And again, look, here's what I think people don't understand is that these guys are very well aware of what the media is saying about them, especially when they say, like, I don't pay any attention to that. That tells me that you do, and that it's in your head. So Glaber knows the defense is an issue. I think if people didn't make a big deal about it, and he was, again, like with Gary, let him do his thing. Just let him, he's limited. The idea is that the bat makes up for it. So when you're messing with this guy's head and this guy's reading in the papers, well, he's not reading in the papers. You know what I mean? I think it just starts to get on these guys. It's counterintuitive. I mean, it's not helping anybody out. So I think that's, again, Yankees tonight, 9 runners left on base on the evening.
And it might be more than that now because you just heard me exclaim, Clint Frazier, bags loaded, looked at a strike down the middle to strike out and in the side. So
he took one earlier tonight. Same thing, 2-strike fastball down the middle. I was listening to it on the radio at the time, and John Sterling said, "What was he looking for there, Susie?" I mean, that's a problem. Clint Frazier is a guy we all expected. It's
almost. I would almost dare say it's time to start getting on him about his play, because I was defending him a little bit because I just assumed it was like Aaron Boone, love it on Brett Gardner a little bit too much because he's got a whole love affair with Brett Gardner, and but no, Clint is real cold, and no one else has really called him out on it. He's kind of skating by because everyone else is cold, but it's like he's not coming up either at all.
No, I mean, he's almost the worst of the bunch.
I'd have to say, if I had to pick, I would say Hicks is probably the coldest on the team. Absolutely the coldest. He just gives us nothing up there. Nothing.
It's very disappointing. This team is just disappointing us at every corner. I mean, the starters aren't getting length out of their starts, with the exception of Garrett Cole.
Well, again, so promising. Herman, again, after a bad start, he made an error that led to, I think, all 3 runs. Or no, maybe 3 runs scored. One of the runs was unearned. But he's 6 strikeouts in 6 innings. Jonathan Loizaga takes over in the bottom of the 7th. So that's
speaking
good.
Of Johnny Loizaga, I'm going to bring up a bright spot that has been in our season. Our bullpen is fantastic right now.
1.64 ERA coming into tonight for Loizaga. Correct. Kudos to him. You're right. O'Day gave up a home run the other night, but is otherwise, I think, done really well. Chapman's looked pretty great.
Chapman's untouchable right now.
Yeah. So,
And that's great when you're scoring 5 runs and your pitcher goes 5 innings, but we're not doing either of those, with the exception of Garrett Cole, and we're not even giving Garrett Cole the run support he deserves.
No, that the last game that Cole pitched against the Rays, that was a must-have game. Like, we can't lose right now. We can't lose these Garrett Cole starts, and that one really stung. Even though it was the one that completed the sweep, but we got to really prioritize these Garrett Cole starts right now.
yes.
And today, with the beginning of today's game, I'm hand up when I saw it was like 3-0. I was like, oh my god, we're probably gonna lose. I don't know if we can score 3 runs.
All right, no, that's fair. Now, see, my feeling was when I turned the game on and it was already 3-0, and my thought was, can the Yankees play with some fire in their belly and come back in this game? Because I'll tell you what, and I think my man James Yevon just commented a few minutes ago and said he felt like the Yankees are playing emotionless baseball.
It seems like it.
And then listen, again, that's a huge concern if you feel like your team's not the Jacob deGrom treatment. I like that, Riley. But yeah, this is frustrating. It's frustrating, but I feel like, again, a comeback in Cleveland, the place where the Yankees have struggled over the last few years, and maybe the last decade or so. Visits to Cleveland aren't like they used to be back when I was a boy. So I feel like this could be a good character win. I think sometimes, you get punched in the stomach. You got to like get your act together and get it. So maybe a win like this could spark this team a little bit. Again, Glaber's got a couple hits. I mean, again, let's go. This is how we get the ball rolling, Mike Talkman is in the game now, by the way, for Clint Frazier. So not sure what happened there. If maybe Booney was like, you know what? I think we've seen enough of you taking called third strikes down the middle.
Yeah, I mean,
that's ridiculous. That's like 2 times in one game.
Unacceptable.
Talking about our struggles with freaking leaving the bags loaded, never mind just leaving runners in scoring position. That's ridiculous. I mean, take the bat off your damn shoulders. At least swing at the goddamn thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, everyone's already been criticizing the team enough for, swinging and missing and going for the home runs. He's not even swinging the bat. Like, that's unacceptable. At this point, with the way this team is struggling to produce and get guys on and move runners, striking out looking like I mean, if someone else did that multiple times in a game, at this point I would expect Boone to sit that person down immediately, and I'm glad he did that to Frazier. It's unacceptable.
It's just like getting to the point where you don't have any words for what's going on. You really don't. I mean, we've said all we can say, and it's just like, how much longer are we going to be sitting here and saying that the bats are cold? And that we know they're better than this, but it's just hard. It's hard baseball to watch right now. I like going back to what you said before, Dylan. It seems like emotionless baseball.
Yeah, and I mean, like I'm telling myself, like, and I know everything's going to be okay. We're going to make the playoffs. We're going to win the division. It's going to be fine. But it's just so hard to, like, not get caught up with every game, just seeing the same non-effort just every time. And I don't know. It's just beyond frustrating. If we got to turn it around. Simple as that. And I think we have a good shot to do it against this, like, this should be mediocre Cleveland team. And I think we got the Tigers. if I'm not mistaken. After the Indians,
We should break 500, no question.
have to.
If
Have
we're not at or above 500 after those two series, there's a little more reason to think there's an actual problem.
I'm literally watching the first inning from tonight's game, and boy, oh boy! I mean, to me, the Yankees. I guess we shouldn't forget to talk about the Yankees defense because the Yankees defense has been absolutely terrible. And look, I think when you look around baseball at most of the teams in the league, right, that don't have the power that the Yankees have, don't have the guys in the starting rotation, you play good defense. I mean, you have to. You can't give good teams extra outs. And the Yankees are giving everybody extra outs and lots of unearned runs. And that is, again, you combine that with not hitting with runners in scoring position, you've got big problems. All right. So the next question I have here is this, but I think we all agree that the answer is no. I've heard this repeatedly on ESPN in regards to the Yankees, the worldwide leader in nonsense. This roster was there last year and the year before and the year before. And all of those seasons, they at least played in the American League Division Series. And in one of those got to the American League Championship Series where they lost a heartbreaker in Game 6. So, nope, it's not a roster problem. It's Riley just asked the question, what's the bigger problem, the bats or the defense? The defense to me is the bigger problem because I'm not worried about the bats. 17 games in, not loving it, but again, the Yankees could go on a tear the next 10 and hit, 45 home runs as a team. That wouldn't shock anybody. That's how good this team is. The defense isn't going to get any better. The defense might even get, dare I say, worse. I've seen this scenario where people say, let's move Gio Urshela to short, LeMahieu to third, Glaber to second, and I'm like, wait a minute. So you want to take two strengths and turn it into three weaknesses. Why would you do that? If you don't think Gleyber Torres is a shortstop, then you're going to have to trade him. Right, because
it's the only place he can play.
It doesn't,
he has a place on the team.
He was awful at second base. Let's not pretend he was a good second baseman, but as a second baseman, not making huge problems and hitting bombs, that was cool. Now, all of a sudden, you move a Gold Glove winner in LeMahieu from second to third. How does that make the Yankees better?
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. And LeMahieu, don't get me wrong, LeMahieu can play third base and fairly, I'd say above average. But
sure. I wouldn't say above average. I would say more than adequately.
Sure.
Again, Lucas, I think if you ran him out there every game for a month, you'd be like, God, LeMahieu sucks. I think he would be. He's a great guy to play there when you need him, and he'll do a great job and give it his all. It's not a third baseman. He's not a first baseman.
I'd argue Glaber was worse at second than he is at shortstop.
I wouldn't disagree with that. I think he's got more again, and I'll tell you what, Lucas, you're onto something because he's played shortstop for most of his life.
Right.
Yeah.
He only moved to second. He only moved to second to play for the Yankees. That was it. That was the whole reason for him playing second base. The Yankees let Didi walk with the thought of, well, we'll just move Glaber back to his natural position. He's still fielding the position of shortstop like he's still playing second base, which is weird habit to break. You got to charge balls. You can't go back on them. You don't have the time. Right. So that's a real issue. Can he figure that out and get back to like basic instincts? Yeah. Was Derek Jeter, a great shortstop with amazing range? No. And everybody knows that. And he didn't hit 35 home runs a year. So how'd the Yankees win 5 championships while he was there? So again, you let a guy go out there and do his thing, and that's what the Yankees always did with Derek Jeter. It worked out really well.
Right, it did. Obviously.
And we also can't expect every shortstop we plug in from like now to the end of time to be Derek freaking Jeter.
Sure, Mariano Rivera effect. Any reliever who gives up a run sucks and is a bum and should be living in Scranton. That's the mindset.
We are blessed to have Aroldis Chapman.
That is correct. That is the ignoramus mindset of the casual Yankee fan who just can't help but run his mouth on Facebook or Twitter or wherever he can. And it's annoying. Really annoying.
A question?
Yes.
How annoyed are you getting with, since labor struggles, how annoyed are you getting with the, we should have kept Didi takes?
Oh God. Get out.
Well, that was 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, let it go. Yeah. Let it go. I don't know why anybody's even talking about it. How good is Didi playing?
Nothing too crazy.
I assume if Didi was lighting it up, I'd know about it.
I think we would know about it.
I scan the leaderboards pretty much every day. I didn't see Didi anywhere in any top 10 category. So again, spare me the drama.
Right, and it's not. Didi is not.
And I like Didi. Right. I got a Didi thing hanging up over here. I like to keep it current.
He's not by any means. He's no scrub, but he's no Jesus Christ like the Yankees fans like to make him out to be.
Glaber is very clearly a better hitter than Didi Gregorius. And last time I checked, a whole lot younger. So, I mean.
Well, consider this too. If Glaber was playing well and hitting well,
we wouldn't hear about it.
Nobody would care. Nobody would care, honestly, at all. So I do miss Didi. The lefty bat, I thought that was a guy kind of coming into his own. He wanted way more money than the Yankees could pay. It was unfortunate that he had to leave.
Hindsight, it was a good move. We let him walk at the right time.
Yes, and got DJ LeMahieu on this team. You know, so look, there's a lot of pressure on Gleyber Torres to perform and be the star that he was supposed to be. I don't know if you guys know the story of Mickey Mantle. Mickey Mantle came up as a rookie. You got the Mick right up there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I got the Mick right there with Roger Maris. See that right there? That's Mick and Maris.
I see him, yep.
So Joe DiMaggio's final year was the Mick's first foray in the bigs. And they gave Mickey number 6. Right?
Mm-hmm. I did hear about this.
Ruth, Gehrig, DiMaggio, you're the next big thing, kid, number 6. And Mickey failed and got sent back to the minors. And he called his dad, and he told his dad he couldn't hack it. He wanted to come back to Oklahoma and go work on the farm. And his dad, I'll modernize it, told him to stop being a bitch. And he said, look, go out there and do what you do. You don't have to be Joe DiMaggio or Babe Ruth or Lou Gehrig. Just be Mickey Mantle. And when the Mick came back, he asked if they'd give him number 7. As you could see right over Dylan's head right now, the number 7. That's all Nick needed. That idea that he wasn't the next in line, that he didn't have to live up to Ruth and Gehrig and DiMaggio, made all the difference. Obviously, Mickey Mantle went on to be unbelievable. Oh, Hagasioka.
Oh, my God. Of course he does.
I will say this about Kyle Hagasioka. He's a great backup catcher.
Yes.
He hits when he's in. He calls a good game. He does everything that you would want from a backup catcher. He's hitting 375, by the way, on the season. Just
Joe, keyword in
that's
that, what you just said,
third home run.
backup.
Correct.
Backup.
Correct. This is going to be my point. Listen, if this dude played every single day, just like I said about DJ LeMahieu, give him a month at third base. You'll change your mind about how you feel about him at third base.
That was a shot, though. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice one,
Dude,
Nice
again,
bomb to
he's
center field.
what is he, 30 years old?
31.
31 years old. Again, I love this guy. I think he's fantastic. He's a great backup. And when he eventually goes and signs off somewhere else, I'll feel like I did when Austin Romine left. He's better than Austin Romine was. And I remember how every Yankee fan was in love with how great Austin Romine was. How's it going, by the way, since he left? Has he butted into a superstar everyday catcher somewhere?
It's a Hall of Famer now.
Yeah. Again, there's some guys that are starters. There's some guys that are backups. And sometimes starters go through slumps. And sometimes those slumps last more than 17 games. The fact that it's all happening to the Yankees at the same time is a problem. It's a problem. My mom has chimed in. Time to get a new coach. Aaron Boone just isn't cutting it anymore. Now, let me tell you about my mom. So I love her to death. She's from the George Steinbrenner days. She would have fired Aaron Boone already, replaced him with Billy Martin, and then 2 nights ago would have fired Billy Martin and hired Yogi Berra. That's when the Yankees were at their absolute worst, when they were just blaming the manager and firing managers and bringing in new managers and then firing one and bringing in the same guy and then firing him and bring. It was the Bronx Zoo. That was not a good time in Yankees history. And I know a lot of people are down on Brian Cashman. Been there 20 years. Maybe he's been there too long. He's too comfortable. You think Brian Cashman is comfortable? You work for the Steinbrenners. And you have to answer to Yankee fans and the New York media. I say neither Aaron Boone nor Brian Cashman has ever ducked any questions.
Aaron Boone. Sometimes.
Maybe injury questions.
Yeah.
Injury questions is one thing, but I mean, Aaron Boone knows this team's playing like garbage, and the guys know they're playing like garbage. It's not like it's a secret to anybody. It's not like he hasn't addressed the team. It's not like Brian Cashman felt the need to address the media. So, I mean, look, they hear it, they get it. This is going to be a good win for the Yankees tonight. Down 3-0 in the first, and it looked like the bad news bears.
I mean, I just said it a couple minutes ago. I was like, here we go again. We're going to lose another game because we're only going to score one run.
What a good win if the Yankees hang on and win this baseball game today. Judge 3 walks, Glaber 2 hits and an RBI. Odor had a couple of RBI. Hagasioka 2 for 3 with the homer, and he had a double. I said Herman again after a really rough first inning, throws 90 pitches, 6 innings, 2 runs, 2 earned, I should say, 3 overall, 7 hits, 6 strikeouts.
And in reality, Joe, that first inning for Herman, he did make that blunder defensively. That was his fault. But the runners that got off on blue pits.
Well, also don't forget Brett Gardner, superstar, dropped one.
Yep.
Dropped the pop-up.
So Domingo looked good today.
Again, this is what you would expect to see from Domingo Herman more often than you won't see it this year. You know, him getting sent to the minors, I think a lot of people assumed it was because of how he was pitching, and that really wasn't the case. It was really more of a roster move. And again, this guy's going to be Riley and I were going to disagree here. He says Herman shouldn't be a starter. He should come out of the bullpen. And while he was pretty good out of the bullpen, dude, this guy's got some of the best stuff in baseball. And I'm telling you, when his head's right, And when he's pitching well, this guy's a fantastic starter.
There's a reason he won 18 games.
Right.
Well, again, there's that myth, and I think it came from ESPN that he got immense run support. The year he won 18 games, I actually wrote an article. It was one of my more popular articles. I compared his numbers to Garrett Cole and Justin Verlander. And I focused on games where they had between 3 and 5 runs of support in the game. Guess who the best pitcher was?
It's probably Domingo.
It was Domingo Germán. So, again, when it came to getting more than 6 runs, he also had the most wins of those guys. He actually didn't pitch very well in those games. And I've tried to explain this to people over the years. I don't know if people truly understand this, but pitchers pitch to the scoreboard. If it's 10-0 in the 5th, why am I working the corners? I'm just going to throw fastballs. Hit a solo shot. I don't care. Hit 3 long fly balls to the warning track. That's all I'm looking for. I just want to get out of here. I don't want to throw a ton of pitches. I'm not going to walk guys. I'm not going to put guys on base. I'm coming fastballs. It's 10-0. It's a different mindset to pitching. When
Andy Pettit was always great at that.
When the score is 1-0, you're pitching on a different level. Every pitch means something. Every pitch has got to be really thought out and executed. When people used to make the argument in the 2000s that Felix Hernandez would win 30 games as a Yankee, I was like, no, nonsense. CC Sabathia came off one of the most historic runs in history with the Brewers before he signed with the Yankees. 15-1. ERA of a $1.30 or something like that. He gets to the Yankees, he's getting 5.5, 6 runs a game. His ERA was like 3.20 his first year with the Yankees because, well, why would he be working the corners? Why would he be throwing curveballs?
Yeah, exactly. You're attacking. At
People
that point,
don't,
you're attacking the batter.
You just that's your job, is to throw strikes and get us the hell out of here. This is when I talk about there's something wrong with the Mets and Jacob deGrom. I think he lulls his team to sleep. I think that guy pitches really well. He's a great pitcher. But I think he's such a nitpicker. There's not a ton of action in the games, and I think it puts his team to sleep. I think that team, when he's on the mound, has zero energy behind it. You bring the relievers in and they blow it.
Well,
I think there's something wrong with Jacob deGrom, but that's for another episode.
When it comes to deGrom, I don't blame his guys for getting sleepy. Just the other day, he struck out 9 guys in a row.
Right. Taking your team out of the game and throwing a million pitches to do it. Like, that's great and all, but, I mean, again, I don't care how many strikeouts the guy has. Just get out. Pitch the contact. That's what good pitchers do who rack up wins. And they last longer in games. So you gotta understand how it all works. I mean, right now, you want the Garrett Cole 1-0 games because they're not scoring. When the Yankees are starting to light up the scoreboard, you'll see that. And Garrett Cole's a prime example of this. Every year, who's one of the guys that gives up the most home runs in the league? But that's all he does. He gives up a few home runs. Gives up 25, 30 homers. Not much more than that. Again, if you're up 5-0 and you give up a couple of solo shots, okay. Now what?
Yeah. Can I ask you, you guys? I'm going to ask you guys a question. What is your level of concern for Corey Kluber right now? I don't like how. Well, I mean, I can understand why we did pull him and didn't let him finish the 5. He's walking way too many guys, but his best outing was his last outing. So maybe this is a sign for him turning it around. But so far for me, not good with Corey Kluber. I need to see a lot more innings out of him.
I can't remember if it was Joe or someone else that told me Kluber gets off to historically slow starts, and then he picks it up, and he's gotten off to those slow starts in his Cy Young seasons, and obviously ended up winning the Cy Young later that year. So hopefully this is just a Corey Kluber thing where he starts off slow. But you're right, Dylan. The walks are very, very concerning. His stuff doesn't look sharp, but it does look sharper as he continues to get more pitches in. And I'm right with you. I hope things turn around quick because that is a worrisome situation with Corey Kluber.
So he does have 14 strikeouts in those 15 innings. He's averaging 8.4 Ks per 9. So again, you just said it. The walks are concerning. Well, Corey Kluber's not a guy that walks a ton of people.
Which is why I was like, okay, we haven't seen this from him.
Absolutely. So my thought is this guy's got to get some. He's made 4 starts. He's pitched 15 innings. That's it. I think once this guy gets his legs under him, once he gets to feel again, I think he's going to be fine. Not a great starter. Hasn't pitched much in the last 2 years. What more could you want? Honestly, what more at this point could you want from this guy?
Jameson Taillon looked good in his last start.
Yes,
he's starting to sharpen up a little bit, and he's starting to show the potential that Pittsburgh knew he had, and that his draft position where he was drafted indicates.
Yeah, he did. He looked very solid.
Well, and again, only 2 walks in 15 innings, and so yeah, you see that, and you're like, looks great. Right. When you're putting guys on base, it tends to. Well, again, it's the reason why you don't last very long in your starts. I mean, Aaron Boone definitely. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Boone's going to keep these guys on a short pitch count. Now, there was a question the other day why the Yankees start Nick Nelson as an opener when there's a guy named Davey Garcia hanging around Scranton, just dying to come back and pitch for the Yankees. You could use this. Yeah, I mean, again, you could use a spark plug kind of guy, a young rookie, who, again, maybe could again, not a smart move for the Yankees.
I'm not the biggest fan of Nick Nelson.
Yeah, and you shouldn't be. But again, to me,
not a Nick Nelson fan.
That was a classic Aaron Boone overthinking stuff.
Yeah.
And I really hate when he does that. And I wish that he would stop that. I think that's really that overthinking is so ridiculous. Run your good lineup out there in the right order with Stanton and Judge back to back, wherever you want to put them. 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, whatever. Back to back. Get serious.
Right.
Put together the lineup on paper that makes sense. Run it out there for a week. And if you still have the same problems, then we'll talk about it and figure out what has to be done. But to me, the inconsistency of this lineup and this idiotic idea, it's April. I have to give guys days off for what?
These guys are athletes. They should not, and also we're paying them handsomely. They should all be out on the field every single day. What does Giancarlo need a break from? What is he doing?
Hacking at the ball
right now,
so
just
hard.
swinging and missing. He's not playing the field. Well, yeah, I've never seen a DH get tired.
Right. You don't need a day off from sitting on the bench and hitting. You really don't.
No. Was he tired from shagging fly balls in practice?
Yeah. Yeah, you make solid points there.
Not even
Take
like he
we're gonna
runs the bases.
we're gonna take a real quick break, and then we're gonna preview what is coming up for the Yankees over the next week. Rocky Hill Accountants offers a unique, low-pressure approach to professional and personal services, which is why they have an excellent client retention rate and are extremely proud of the high-quality services that their firm provides. The executive team at Rocky Hill Accountants has over 35 years of combined experience in income tax preparation, bookkeeping, accounting, and IT crypto tax. They specialize in individual income tax preparation, as well as trusts, estates, and gift tax returns. The tax deadline for individuals is May 17th. If you're one of the 50 million Americans who still hasn't filed, visit RockyHillAccountants.com. All right. So Yanks obviously up 6-3 in this one. They've got 3 more here in Cleveland. Tomorrow night, 7:10, Montgomery versus Allen. Saturday's a 6:10 start. It's Cole and Bieber. That is going to be a fantastic matchup.
Fantastic.
Yeah, right on.
That's box office right there.
And then
might have to drive out to Cleveland, get some tickets for that one.
Yeah. Sadly, Sunday start 1:10. I don't mean this in a bad way, but it is how are you saying it? Tyone, whatever it is. I'm gonna call him what I want. He'll face McKenzie. Corey Kluber not starting in the series against the Indians, which is kind of a bummer. I thought that would have been kind of cool. But he does go Monday night, 7:05. Yanks will be in Baltimore. It's Baltimore actually before Detroit, Dylan. Kluber versus Harvey.
Oh, that's a barn burner.
I like that one. That sounds like a fun matchup.
5 years ago, that's a fan.
5 years ago.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness gracious! Two of the best starters in baseball going at it tonight.
Good to see that we're going back to our second home stadium.
Yep.
Yes. Well, this is what I was just saying, right, about Glaber. I mean, dude, has somebody told him Camden Yards is in his near future? Because he likes that place. Tuesday night, Domingo Germán will be back on the hill, 7:05 start against Bruce Zimmerman. Montgomery goes Wednesday night at 7:05. And then on Thursday, a 1:05 start. Garrett Cole will be going in that one. And we will go on after that start. And hopefully things will have gotten better. And then we'll be previewing 3 in Detroit, 3 in Houston, 3 in Washington. And then guess where? Back to Tampa Bay. No, stop it. Can't think that way, boys. Gotta stay positive. I'm telling you.
Stop. It's gross.
I just the past year and a half I've been conditioned to just
look at Sean Scanlon.
I don't like that. I'm sorry to cut you off, Dylan, but Sean, I expect better from one of my co-hosts.
Our good buddy from John About the G-Men and from the Posting Up podcast that Lucas hosts. No, he's a Red Sox fan. He's a Red Sox Giants fan. He's one of those weirdos.
It's the
I'm a weirdo, so
you only find those in Connecticut and mostly in central Connecticut.
Dylan, don't tell me you're a Yanks Pats. Oh God!
Oh yeah, he's that's right. Dylan's reverse weirdness. I forgot about that.
Oh my Christ!
You don't see a lot
of that. What did that for you, Dylan? Just out of curiosity.
Oh boy!
Because you seem like you're as old as Tom Brady is. His career is, I should say. So,
yeah,
is that what did it for you? Because I'm sure you didn't grow up a Drew Bledsoe fan, right?
Yeah.
No, I had a Drew Bledsoe jersey. But I grew up in Massachusetts. So naturally all my friends were Patriot fans, but my family they're diehard Yankee fans. So I didn't have a choice on that one. And they didn't really care about football. My dad's a Cowboy fan. My uncle's like a Dolphin fan. My grandfather didn't really like football. But when it came to baseball, it was Mets or Yankees. And my grandfather was not having me be anything other than a Yankee fan. So that's how that happened.
I find most Mets fans to be sort of unpleasant people.
Hmm?
They're unfortunate.
Yes. Well, to a degree. Listen, you're not born a Mets fan.
Oh God, no! You're forced into it.
Yeah. It's something that
You don't
your
have a
dad
choice.
Yeah, it's something that your dad makes you do.
That's
You
bad
know?
parenting.
It is. It sucks.
That's why
It's
you're
one of
so
those things.
angry. You hate yourself.
Yeah. Son, I'm a Mets fan, so you're stuck being a Mets fan too. You could like a different team. It's okay. It's okay.
They also
Um,
need to cool it with the whole, oh, we're the team in New York right now.
Oh boy.
By the way,
Yeah.
Trevor Keys is blowing up my messenger right now, talking about Kyle Gasioka should be the
Ugh.
full-time starter. He suggested
Oh
that
my God.
I recruit Gary Sanchez for my wiffle ball team. Although now he's saying, yeah, right. Actually, he can't hit the curveball. Red Sox fans just don't want to originally chant Yankees suck. No matter who's winning, get a life and be more original. Okay, Mom. That's my
Solid
mom.
take.
My mom attacking Sean Scanlon, my friend and co-host on several shows. It's all
Have you
good.
guys
Just
ever
playing.
been to Fenway?
Yes.
I have not.
Are you serious?
Yes, that's correct.
I respect that.
Never
know what?
stepped foot in that
Although
crap hole.
I hate that team. Throughout my life I had said, "Oh, I'm not going to that. That's a dumpster of a stadium." Fenway Park's amazing. I hate
Derek
to say
Jeter,
it, but-
I said when I was a kid, I sat front row at Fenway. Derek Jeter tossed me a ball. I was on yes for Michael K talked about me for like a good 7 innings.
No kidding.
Look at how happy that little boy
I'll
is.
find the I'll find the video clip and I'll send
Oh, that's
it to you.
amazing. I've been to Shea. I've been to City Field. I've been to Veteran Stadium in Philly.
Have you been to Camden?
I've been to Camden Yards. I mean there wasn't a game the day I went to Baltimore. Same thing. I went to I was in San Fran a couple of years ago, and they actually let me into the stadium.
Really?
I actually got to walk in through the bullpen. Yeah, it's pretty neat. We were out. My buddy lives out in San Fran, and my wife and I were out there. She had some business, and I went out and hooked up with my buddy, and we went to the stadium, and it's right on the pier, looking down in where the splashdowns happen. And we went up to there's like a giant gate there, and the grounds crew was working. They weren't playing. I think it was baseball season, but San Fran obviously wasn't home, so there wasn't a game there. But my buddy called over to the guy, and he came over and he unlocked the gate and he let us walk around. So I actually got onto the field.
That's crazy.
Which was kind of neat. But yeah, never been to Fenway. And my wife lived in Boston for a while. She's been to Fenway, and she reacted the same way when I told her I'd never been there. And she was like, I'm going to take you there. And I said, no, you're not.
You're not missing anything.
No, I don't. I wouldn't want to watch a game there. I don't even like watching. So and put it to you like this: I've gone to watch the Mets play, but not against the Yankees. I've gone to see the Mets play because people give me tickets sometimes, and I think, yeah, I'll go do that.
You want to hear something real funny? It's very petty of my uncle, but I love him for it. He refuses, whenever he's in Boston, and this forever, he refuses to drive through the Ted Williams tunnel. He will go around it. He will map out. You'll go out of his way to map out a way to refuse to go through the Ted Williams tunnel.
That is wow. That's more than I'll do. That is a real hatred.
Baseball parks are nice though. I've been to a few. Nationals Park's really nice. I've been there. Camden, like I said, is really nice. Too bad their team is trash. And then I've also been to Angel Stadium in Anaheim. That's
no
nice.
Kidding. Yeah, that one looks really nice. You know which one I'd really like to see? Not that I want to just talk about what stadiums I want to check out, but the one in Kansas City looks pretty cool with the fountains and
Kauffman.
stuff. Yeah, Kauffman Field. I think I'd like to go check that joint out.
I'd like to go to Arizona their stadium.
Go in the pool.
Mm-hmm.
Pool at Arizona.
Colorado. I also really want to go see their park.
Petco with the little beach that they have out there. The volleyball net.
I have a list on my phone of every sports arena I've ever been to. I hope I fill it out one day.
Trevor Keys is now blowing up my messenger again, telling me that Gary Sanchez, not only can he not hit a curveball, but look up his numbers against the fastball. They've gone down. Yeah, no, listen, for real. Gary's struggling on the fastball. I don't know why that's happening. It's not like they're faster fastballs.
No.
So again, look, dude, he's a streaky guy. He's going to get hot. I think in a 162 game season, again, last year, did he get hot? Not really. Then he played like a third of a season. I think he's going to be fine over the course of a full season. And again, his batting average isn't exactly horrible this year. So things could be worse, They
could be worse.
Second best bullpen in the league. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Well, Yanks are about to wrap up a 6-3 win over Cleveland, or heading into the ninth. I assume Aroldis Chapman will come in and lock it down. Chad Green came in, pitched a solid eighth inning, 1 strikeout through just 10 pitches, and 0.79 ERA in the season.
Very nice.
Yep. Chad Green looks fantastic. And Jonathan Loaizaga is really starting to put it together.
A 1.50 he leaves with tonight. So fantastic job by him. I think he'd actually be in line for the victory tonight. So good for him.
Good for him.
Yeah. Anyway, I think this is a good win for the Yankees. Let's hope that this sparks something. Maybe they could take it to Cleveland this weekend, get themselves back on track. Because let's be honest, they gotta get going soon. I really do. I think that it's a confidence thing. Imagine having to bat and feeling like you're be benched for sneezing. Yeah, I mean, again, I think when you're messing with guys' heads and you're making them feel like they're not valued or that they're not important to the team, it's hard for that guy to go out there and not overanalyze what he's doing. And right now, the Yankees have to stop the overanalyzing and just play some baseball.
Right.
Plain and simple. That's where it's at. So
it's as simple as that.
Yep. All right. Well, I think everybody feels a little bit better. Yankees are about to lock down their 7th win of the season. Mind you, it's in 18 games, but you gotta win one at a time. And so let's hope that this come from behind win for the Yankees tonight after a terrible first inning is the start of what we expect to be the Yankees getting back to their winning ways.
Yes.
Make sure you check us out at clevercrestmedia.com/The Roll Call Podcast. We have a cool Facebook page at The Roll Call Podcast. You can hit us up on Twitter at The Roll Call Show, and we've got a really sweet Instagram page. It's called The Roll Call Podcast. For Dylan Oxton and Lucas Balduck, I am Joe Aguirre. We'll catch you right back here next Thursday for another Roll Call Podcast.
Hi, my name is Allison Gamber. I'm the Executive Director for the Cove Center for Grieving Children. Our office is located in Meriden, and we provide services throughout Connecticut. We are so excited to be having a virtual event coming up, the Hope and Healing Virtual Auction and Celebration. The auction will be held April 22nd to the 24th, and the celebration will be held on the evening of April 24th to talk all about the Cove services and what we've accomplished over the last 26 years. If you'd like to join us for the celebration, registration is free, and you can find all that information on www.covect.org. And the link for the virtual auction will be put up there on the evening of April 21st to start live auctioning on April 22nd. So come and join us to celebrate the Cove and raise some funds so we can continue to offer our programs free of charge.